Hi, folks. I'm all about improving happiness. Welcome back to the Amazing Education channel. It's about the information you need to know. It's not about interesting video, but welcome to my office, my outdoor office. Yeah, it's where I do my work. And, I worked hard, probably 23 years of education. And, you might get a reward if you work hard enough. And but even though it looks nice over here, a natural environment would be much nicer. There's a lot of pollution here, and you can see just overpopulation, overcrowding. It's overbuilt, and frankly, it's not sustainable. There's a lot of trash in the water, and of course, we are also polluting the oceans and the land. Still burning fossil fuels. We're not fully sustainable right now. And we need to reduce our population down to about 1 billion people. That's what the Union of Concerned Scientists says. We need to reduce our population. So have smaller family sizes, don't have more than one child. Then we can get back to a healthier planet. Because this video is about the misery of industrialized nations, peoples, and how some of them avoid it. You have some happier countries where they're not driving everywhere. They're older societies that are, they were designed without cars in mind. Unlike the United States and newer developing countries, maybe Australia or someplace, people can be happier and healthier when you have small villages where you can walk to work and walk to get your food and other important, say the drugstore or the pharmacy, and get your medicines and so on. If everything's within walking distance, and you can do physical labor instead of the modern society online computer type work, those people would tend to be healthier and happier. And of course, lifestyle and the diet also has a big impact, but a lot of it has to do with the kind of work we do and how do we get there, including school, of course. Are you getting there by sitting on a motorized vehicle, and so therefore you're not walking? It's really bad for your health. And we have, for example, in the United States, in the Midwest, over 50%, I believe, of women in the Midwest are on antidepressants. Now, tell me if that's not a lot of misery. And how do we live now? We often, as a child, we take a car or take a bus to get to school. Then we sit at a desk. We do a lot of paperwork. Even now, unfortunately, they're cutting out art classes and music classes as considered unaffordable, and it's not important enough. We have centralized control, unfortunately, federal involvement in educational standards, forcing people into what's called STEM. It's actually the root of unhappiness and terrible health. I guess it could be the stem of unhappiness and terrible health. Science, technology, engineering, and math. And when we put all of our trust into science and chemistry and machines, and we don't do physical labor, we end up miserable and unhealthy. And to the point, gosh, over 50% of women need antidepressants to make it through their day. We have truly failed as a society, truly failed. We need to turn things around. We need to change our zoning. We need to change our education. We need to encourage people, frankly, reduce our population so we can get back to farming and healthy living. Yes, we need to also move toward sustainable energy, the wind and the sun. maybe we can do solar power or wind power. And people, of course, people are going to comment, oh my gosh, you try living on a farm. Oh, you live in the woods. Oh, you give it a try. Well, guess what? I have lived on a farm. And those were the happiest days of my life. If you haven't tried it, go out camping and do something out in a natural area. Get away from a big city. And you might feel uncomfortable. It might not be a lifestyle that you understand, but you might be happier and live longer and also be healthier in the long run. So if you think we can't survive without nuclear power plants, without coal and natural gas power plants, guess what? People have done that for hundreds of thousands of years. They've lived without these things. They're modern inventions. They're polluting the planet, causing, terrible air quality. Now, I'm not saying the air quality, especially in cities, was better, say, 100 years ago, but they were using coal at that time, and terribly polluting their air, and also to have light at night. A lot of whales were killed, for example, to the point of almost extinction of whale species, some of them. And I'm not saying everything was better in the past, folks. I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying we should suffer in misery. But I am saying we will suffer, and we are suffering in misery with our current path, which is to the point where a lot of our food is very unhealthy, and our lifestyles are unhealthy. So luckily we can turn it around because we understand what's wrong. We need to be able to walk to work, walk to school, exercise, and have, don't have robots and machines do everything. Have we ever deindustrialized in history? Well, I doubt it. I don't think so. But that doesn't mean that we can't, and be healthier for it. And if it means, we need some kind of new communities or some kind of new social movement, maybe you can be the person who starts that. And, you can look at certain groups of people. I think the Mennonites, also the Amish. Now, you don't have to copy everything they've done, but they've gotten together and decided certain technology is, it's terribly polluting. It's bad for the planet. It's unsustainable. They could understand, and since they're such tight-knit societies, make good decisions that are long-lasting for their communities. And they won't have to change their lifestyles very much if civilization comes crashing down and suddenly we all want to learn how to farm. And for example, fossil fuels become too expensive, or even, who knows, in the future, the materials for batteries, for solar panels, and other things may also be too expensive. And you think, oh, that's impossible. We'll never run out of resources, or we can just recycle it. Well, unfortunately, there is no mathematical limit to population growth until you run into a roadblock of misery or war where people are just starving and dying. So what that means is populations can grow, people can have more than one child, and have large families, and overcrowd any place to the point where the resources are stripped. And there are finite resources. It's not infinite on the planet. So it leads to misery again and again throughout history, including right now. People that are poor and they're not healthy, and they may be living on some kind of also unsustainable government assistance. And you can laugh at that. Oh, the government can pay for everything forever. Well, not without making more people suffer, because the money and the resources don't come from out of thin air. they are taken by force or threat of force. Like, if you don't pay, we seize your bank account, we seize your assets, and so on. If you don't pay for government services and pay your taxes and so on, we'll get a court order, and we'll garnish your paychecks or whatever it is. And then if if people refuse to pay, well, tax income to the government can go down, and then suddenly they need to print money, and then that causes inflation and causes, well, basically it's underhanded basic theft by devaluing the currency. What it means is each dollar or whatever monetary unit is less powerful because they keep printing more and more of them, and those all go out into shops and marketplaces, and it causes everything to be more expensive, basically. And do not believe anybody that tells you differently. The government supporters and professors from government schools and economists will say, oh, we don't really know what causes inflation. Oh, there are multiple factors. Okay, fine, there are multiple factors, but if you have a ton, trillions of dollars in circulation, you'll have certain prices. If you reduce it down to billions of dollars in circulation, the prices will naturally have to come down. But the thing is, somebody's going to suffer if we start from trillions and get to billions, because some dollars will have to be destroyed. Whoever destroys that money is basically losing money. And likewise, when the money's printed, people are, they're getting money out of trees, basically, money growing on trees or cotton plants. They print money, and whoever makes it and gets it first, they're just basically, getting money for nothing and becoming rich by making other people miserable because of raised prices. And so it's a very bad situation that we're in right now. It's not getting better, although people understand the trends, but the population on the planet is still growing. We need to reduce the population on the planet, folks. As I said, thank you. This is the most important information that you can get anywhere. Think about it. Take action in your life. If you have any power, let's turn the boat around. Start sailing in the right direction. Fewer people, it will lead to lower prices, and we won't be so overworked and miserable. And we can, as I said, individually make decisions where we can end up walking to work less, and have physical labor as part of our day. And of course, sports and recreation. But sitting down, folks, no, it's not healthy. So maybe we can have less work altogether and be happier and healthier, but not with the population increasing, driving prices up with increased demand for resources. So anyway, it's very simple, but everyone needs to make their choices and make their decisions to move us in a good direction. Thanks for listening. Take care now. You can do it. We can have a much better future. Okay, bye now.